Did the Ruth and Tom storyline ramp up the tension of the episode or bring it down?
Which 8 townspeople or tourists would you sacrifice to the island in season 2?
Will someone, for the love of God, please finally back my plea to bump off Evan?
We'll answer all those questions and more on this episode of
Patricia Perfection.
Double PHQ's Widow's Bay podcast.
What town doesn't have a checkered past?
Hey everybody, my name's Bubba, and with me as always is someone who Ruth told me made a pass. It's Catfish.
Hey, you didn't see her back in the day, Bubba. Bubba, I'm pleased to be joined by someone who I know, the only person I know who's got a fuller schedule than Ruth. Bubba, you're back from overseas, God knows for how long, maybe 25 minutes, could be an hour and a half. So let's get through this, because we're going to be breaking down, this is the final episode of season 1. Luckily, wink, we've just found out that season 2 is approved, but we don't know how long we're going to have to wait for it. So we are going to be breaking down. We hope you enjoyed your time. On this podcast, Bubba,
we're going to poison an old grandmother.
Let's do it.
We're going to watch education movies on being an offering. Plus, we are going to be left hanging for 2 years. Catfish, what is your rating for this episode 10, the season finale of season 1?
Well, Bubba, I gave this 8 out of 10, what I like to call double Bs.
Double Bs?
Yeah, blood-curdling bells. And Bubba, I really only gave it an 8 because there were 8 bells. I'm going to have to talk a lot here because I'm going to have to explain myself.
Whoa.
I was really disappointed in this episode. But first, let me say right off the bat, Matthew Rhys' acting was excellent. The monologue to Ruth was just incredible. The whole thing. Now, it's tough. It is tough to talk about. First, let's just settle this part. We both know that this probably had a quiet 2-season guarantee, because this is what Apple does most of the time, where they're going to tell the producers you're going to get at least 2 seasons, but they don't announce the pickup of season 2 until late in the first season, so everyone can be like, oh my God, so great, we got season 2. So first, I want to imagine how people would have reacted to this episode had it been the series finale. But even as just a season finale, I just wasn't very happy with this. Now, I've identified, where the problems I had, that people are going to disagree with me. I had 2 major problems. So it's going to be people who agree with me or disagree with me in this. For me, first of all, no game changers in this episode. It's a finale, no game changers. Evan's reveal as the last descendant, I would love to pat myself on the back for this, but the fact that a guy who can never figure out who the murderers are in any of these things, the fact that I figured this out 2 weeks ago probably means that 90% of the viewers figured it out 3, 4, or even 5 weeks ago. People are sacrificed to the demon for its forbearance. That was already known. I mean, the fact that it was an organized activities in the 50s, 60s, or 70s, that's cool. It likes the taste of fear, also cool. But we still have no answer on why the demon stopped. Rosemary, who looks like she's been working there a while, knows nothing about what the shelter was used for. She was just told never go in there. And we still don't know why it started again. That is too little information for a season finale for a show like this. Number 2 reason that people who love this episode are going to disagree with me on, the constant release of tension in the episode. While it was hilarious that Tom found out when he went to kill her that she's the healthiest, busiest, nicest, and also most sexually sought after person in town while he was planning to kill her, that section took too long. I wasn't in suspense during any of it. I was more like, get to it. I mean, it wasn't that I was like, okay, quick, kill Ruth, but I was like, I just didn't feel like I feel like probably the people who loved it were like, oh my God, when's he going to do it? When's he going to do it? And a building of suspense. For me, it wasn't. There was no suspense there. The pacing of the Ruth section brought down the tension of what was happening in the bunker. I mean, the bunker, every time we go in the bunker, it's like, we're blowing up a balloon. We're blowing up a balloon. Oh, my God, it's going to pop. And then we go back to the Ruth and Tom section. The tension would completely come out of the episode. The death count in this episode, considering it appears that Ruth survived a drug overdose and getting winged by the sheriff. The death count in the season 1 finale, 1. Basically, it took one dude in the chair getting taken behind a door where we couldn't even see anything to stop the whole storm. Bubba, this is the first episode out of all 10 where after it ended, I was like, huh. Okay.
Whoa. Catfish, you love this show. You're the reason we're podcasting about this show. You raved about it so much. Every episode you have been ridiculously high on.
Yeah.
This feels like you found the episode a bummer. Was it your expectations were so high because the show's been so great? Why do you think this episode got you like this?
I guess if I could spend 10 minutes describing how I didn't feel there was enough tension in the episode and that there was no game changers, if I could spend 10 minutes explaining that to you like I just already did, that would be my reasoning.
Wait, I have to listen to you now?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Bubba.
What the heck?
You'll figure it out when you re-listen to the podcast.
Yeah, edit it. Yeah.
All right, Bubba, listen.
Yeah.
You're right. I have been so high on this, and you have also enjoyed it. You've been here all the way. You've been a little up and down, yes. So, okay, so save me from the vitriol of the fans of this show, who I know are going to come after me, and I completely understand. So, Bubba, tell me what you thought about this episode.
Well, before I even do, I want to say one thing that I want to agree with you on. It didn't feel like there was a whole lot of new information for the viewers outside of, hey, the number of times you hear that bell ring, that's how many people's got to be sacrificed, got to be an offering. That felt like new information. But what was the kind of the gist of this, the big point of this, was Tom needed to know. Yes, everybody figured out. Everybody knew, well, why is Evan on this show? Gee, the only reason why he could possibly be on this show is he's the last descendant. It's got to be that moral dilemma. But Tom didn't know it. Our main character didn't know it. And so
Understood. Did we need all this time for him to find out? I mean, he drugged her. Yeah.
That is the debate. What I will say is that I'm going to have the exact same rating that you have, but I'm actually very positive on it. You may remember last week, I think I only gave it a 7 because it felt like the first half of a finale. So I'm going up to 8 double E's out of 10.
Oh, double E's, yes, boy. What, double E's?
Effing Evan. This kid, who I've been defending recently.
You have.
The fact that he didn't stand up to his worst friend. This jagoff TJ, who I'm sacrificing him, and then I'm going to make his corpse be reanimated like the boogeyman and sacrifice him 7 more times. I hate this kid so much. So, Evan, you could have stood up. You could have, that girl you like, you could have said, hey, you don't stick my girl in a creepy chair. But, Evan, you are right now are passive. You could have saved somebody from being sacrificed, Evan, so you got to come up and you got to do it. I think another practical moment. So we got to, the one thing, maybe the reason why I'm not so tough on this episode as you are, Catfish, is I'm seeing all the practical things that the show kind of had to do here in this final episode. And one of the big ones, it may feel like a minor thing, but I think one of the big things really for the show going forward is you needed the sheriff on the Scooby Gang, meaning we have been celebrating as viewers. Oh, wow, look at this. Tom, Patricia, and Wick are working together. The show needed to loop in the sheriff. The sheriff has always felt like he's been off on his own side bit of this.
Okay, all right.
Him part of the group, and now he is part of the group. This is the way it had to be. The fact that they pull him in to a horrific choice, his trolley choice, he's pulling the lever, he pulled the lever of the gun. Holy smokes. Certain shows you and I have both watched and really enjoyed would have dragged out so much, would have dragged everything out quicker. Right now, going into season 2, we know that the sheriff knows the deal. His son is it. His son is the reason this curse still holds. Nobody else, none of the rest of the Scooby Gang do know this. How's he gonna get away with it? Is there any way, and we're going to debate
this. Is his aim going to be any better?
Is there any way that any one of our heroes really would participate in 7 more people going down into the chair? I think that it sets up something great. Even if
I think eight.
Well, we had one. Oh,
and then after that, the bell rang 8 times. Right. The bell's like, okay, it was 9.
No, you're right. It was 9. That drove Reverend Bryce to take the easy way out. But this is the point. We've got clear stakes going forward. So I'm only an 8, but an 8 of like, boy, this was really good, and I can see the way forward. Even if I think the way forward is going to take 2 years. Listeners, you guys have been the big member, the person with us on these journeys, and we want you with us because it's going to be a 2-year wait. We want you with us starting this Sunday night. House of the Dragon season.
Oh my God!
Back, we are going crazy with podcasts. In just 2 weeks, Silo season 3 is.
Oh my God!
Oh my God is right. We do this for fun, but boy, we're going to be going through a lot of work. And the reason why we do it is because we really just love watching these great shows, talking about them amongst us and you. So please, if you are listening to the sound in me voice, go down and subscribe. If you're on audio podcast, subscribe. If you're on YouTube, subscribe. Please leave us a comment on YouTube. They have hypes and likes. We need everything because we've got to grow. We've got to get everyone aware, and everybody's doing a good job. But we've got to get everyone aware of this great show, Widow's Bay. And hey, join us as in the long winter as we wait for...
Bubba, you know what? I realize now, after all this talk, that I made a mistake in my ranking.
Finally.
Yeah, it should have been Triple F.
Triple F?
Flaccid Fireworks Factory.
You know what? I try to teach you. And you slowly are learning.
I am. It's going to take me another 20 years. I'll get there.
Hey, so Catfish, you went 8 out of 10. You could have given it a really brutal rating. You went 8 out of 10. So
just as a reminder, because there were 8 bells.
Okay, all right.
If there was anywhere between, if they'd have gone 6 bells, I would have gone 6 bells.
Whoa, wow. Okay, well, This is going to be very intriguing for the first segment. We always do. We talk about the best moment of the episode, and a lot of times that's your favorite scare, the scariest bit of the episode. So, Catfish, for episode 9, we got some great feedback from this handle, which is, I got to zoom in to read what this handle is.
I'm bemused by this plucky painting.
Okay, so what did they say was the best scare of episode 9?
Well, they said the best scare of the week on our show, the Patricia Perfection podcast, was Bubba's hotel finger cam. That is for people who are watching on video. Amazing. Also, what I enjoyed particularly was his quiet voice if you listen on the audio podcast. That was nice. And occasional dropouts. Look, we're back here in our professional setting. So hopefully this is coming to you a lot better. And now... I'm going to list now, Bubba. You always come up with better ones.
Okay.
All right. So here's some good scares. Patricia picks up a note that says, if you can read this, you are already dead.
Whoa. I thought it said I'm already dead, but okay. Wow.
I think it said you are already dead.
Okay.
Oh, but either way, threatening. The movies, just the movies, spectacular. The first movie, the movie's nicely ramped up to a point that we saw people being taken away.
Yeah.
Coming over the speaker as they're all freaking out in a very monotone voice. It's time. Time.
Wow.
It's time.
Wow.
It's time. Listen to your facilitator. Move forward. Do not beg. Whoa.
Dang.
And then, Bubba, we have got the door locking. As our poor guy stuck behind the bar, and then the door unlocking, and like a magic trick, Bubba. When the door unlocks, he's no longer there. And then, of course, we have the end of the episode with the 8 bells. Bubba, what was your best or favorite scare of the episode?
I'm going off those. Those are fine choices, Catfish.
Okay.
For me, this is a trope of horror movies. Mayor Tom, he's going up towards Ruth. He thinks she might be dead. He's got to check. He's got to confirm she's dead. He has drugged her. He has poisoned her. He's going up. But you and I both have seen enough scary movies. Everybody's seen enough scary movies.
Yeah.
She's going to move. And so a part of me, you know, I'm going to get to some listener feedback on this bit. A part of me is positive. Come at him. But just that moment. And then, of course, she does wake up, but it's still sweet Ruth. That was the moment where I was like, oh, hell no. So it doesn't have ominousness, and maybe the score could have been stronger to really build up that tension. But for me, that was the moment of like, no. Where's Patricia with a shotgun on Ruth?
For me, it was the speaker. Just amazing.
Great moment.
These people are all freaked out, and the do not beg, really fabulous. Well, there's some later on. There's more in this area, but in a different section. So for me, it is a speaker for sure. Now, Bubba.
Yeah.
Every week we've got someone who's the bestest. The bestest of the week. We call them the most valuable player. And this week, sometimes they could be the most valuable participant. Bubba, who is your island MVP of the week?
I want to go second, if that's okay, because I've got it right every week, and I just want to make sure that I get to reveal it after you get it wrong.
All right. Well, Bubba, I was going to give it to Bashir for his style TCB, taking care of business, but his aim was worse than a drunk 18-year-old in the bathroom on New Year's Eve. So I got to give it to the old man with all the history. He started with the history at the beginning.
That guy is great.
He knows everything there is to know about every disaster that's happened on this island. And so, therefore, he's great. He should be, Bubba, we have gone on, in different places, we've gone on tours where they were supposed to be scary. In New Orleans, we went on to a ghost tour. We were supposed to go on a ghost tour in Atlanta. It turned out not to be a ghost tour, but we still heard a little bit about ghosts. Bubba, this guy this needs to be his bit on the island. He needs to be giving out these ghost tours. He's my island MVP of the week, Bubba. You're not going to convince me that I'm wrong, so go ahead and tell me the wrong answer.
Well, number one, first and foremost, listen.
Yep. Yeah, I'm listening.
We can survive without food, but we can't survive without water. This guy should be part of the Scooby-Dang game.
Wasn't that the same guy who said it?
Yes, he got shut the door. I bought him. I mean, this guy. And I want to find his name because he's just great. Finally, somebody gets it. You know what I mean? Finally, somebody gets. And you tell everybody the gosh damn truth. Oh, if according to IMDb, he's currently listed as old timer, which isn't fair. Come on, give the guy.
No, he needs a name, Bubba. You know what? At a certain point in your career, you could say, you can ask for a name. You could say, "Look, I don't care about the size of it, just because it looks better of my role
as an actor. Ask for a name."
Right. Yeah. Ask for a name. That's a simple thing. Sometimes they'll give you they could still keep it. He could be Tom the old timer or Jack the old timer. Just ask for a name. Looks better on IMDb.
Let me say, this guy, I'm looking him up on IMDb right now.
Mm-hmm.
He passed away, Catfish. He passed away.
Oh, no.
And he didn't get to see reaction to his great scene last week where Patricia shut the door on him.
Oh, that is sad.
Incredible work this week.
Oh, that is sad. Wait, Bubba, are you telling me if anybody's looking at me right now, you can see I am in prime old-timer territory right now. Oh. Bring me on. I want to be the new old-timer.
Well, okay. Hey, it's time for me to give the island MVP. I think you're right. I think you are right in every way except who the MVP is. So, who is the MVP, Catfish? Who
the old timer
came full force in this episode? The evil spirit. The evil demon, the evil spirit came to play. You're talking about only one person died.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Finale of a horror show. Who took care of it? The Island Spirit took care of it. Island Spirit.
Weak.
By MVP.
All right, well.
All for you, Catfish.
Step it up. Step it up.
Catfish.
Yeah.
It sure feels like, because Mayor Tom tells the sheriff, hey, help me get her to a doctor. Ruth survived being poisoned and shot. So you know what I say?
Yep.
She is a descendant of Richard Warren. He lives forever. How is this possible, Catfish? Is it just that this actress does such a great job? You want her around just like you want the old timer around. What do you think, Kevin?
Well, Bubba, it feels kind of like a little bit of a fake-a-rooney, right? Because we're like, she's down, the other guy dies, and it stops, and then Ruth all of a sudden is up. So then we know, okay, it's not that. We also know that Evan is a descendant as well by then. So, you know what? Ruth, first of all, she's very healthy. You know what I mean? She's on the treadmill. She's not even sweating. But on the other hand, you know, they say like some people, and it's horrible, that like people who have been drinking and have a car accident come out a lot better because their body are so relaxed when they get into the crash.
I have heard that. Yeah.
Right. So she was so relaxed when she got hit by the bullet. She's just like, whatevs.
She just
whatevs. So, Bubba, she survived. So now our trolley can either kill 8 randos or just Ruth and Evan. Which way will Catfish pull the switch?
You son of a gun. Catfish, would you have killed her quicker if you were in Mayor Tom's shoes?
I understand. I mean, once he gets there and sees how... I mean, we basically have just... From what we've seen her before, she doesn't seem like she's very active. She's always leaving work early. He's got to drive around. It didn't seem like she had a full life. So that was the thing that was kind of the surprise in this episode. I thought it's like no big deal for Ruth, but it turns out her schedule's completely full and she's healthy as a horse. Would I have? Oh, yeah. I would have taken care of business.
Oh, you terrible, terrible lever puller. You terrible lever puller. Now, in her calendar...
I would have said brought Evan to help. Evan, here, try this tea before I give it to her.
Listeners, people are screenshotting her full calendar on her refrigerator. And there is so much in there. You know, there's help is it Deidre up, help Deidre down. But also in there, some people have noted that she does this thing seemingly every week of call Francis. Call Francis. Well, of course,
Francis.
Francis is who? The only Francis I can think of on this show is Francis, Four-Fingered Francis, who is her great something grandmother.
Oh, man.
So there's no way that little Easter egg of Francis on her calendar means that she knows about the person who gave her that brooch. Is there, Catfish? Is there any chance Ruth knows any about this?
Well, it is funny that she doesn't really say anything, but she's very... I mean, she basically tells Tom, hey, you know, Tom's like, look at all the disasters, the people dying, all the horrible stuff. And Ruth's like, hey, life's tough everywhere. You know, no big deal.
I think, you know, Catfish, you said the scene lost tension because it took so long. I did think it was weird that they had that 5-minute interlude where Ruth said, here's a little song I wrote. You might want to sing it note for note, don't worry. As I make you laugh, Catfish, and probably none of our podcast listeners, why don't we get to something we know that this episode delivered on? And you're so tough on this episode. This episode delivered many.
It delivered many. And some of them were very dark. The first laugh line was very dark. Tom looking over Ruth's medical file, murmuring to himself, come on, cancer.
Yeah,
Now look, and Tom is on his walkie-talkie. He's driving Ruth to bump her off, and Patricia yells at him, "You don't have to do this." And Wick in the background is like, "Yes, you do."
Wick, how could you jerk?
Bubba, I just a general laugh line again. He's going over to the bump off roof, and it's just hilarious. how healthy and busy AF that she is.
Oh, yeah.
That she's not just some old lady who's like you could bump her off and she would welcome it. No, she's busy, Bubba. She's busy. The film, one of the lines from the film, accept your fate and take pride.
You made it. You qualified as an offering.
How about Ruth? Some great stuff with Ruth. Ruth is showing pictures of Tom. Again, she shows great equanimity in the face of strange things happening. She's talking about someone, she says, he got bit by an animal and then turned into the animal. And just kind of moving on.
Next,
Ruth, again with the pictures, essentially saying, oh, yeah, you're right. The priest in this picture did hit on me. Yeah, and so did the nun in the picture.
Rosemary would say lesbian.
She got it going on. Tom, have you ever heard of the trolley problem? Ruth, you mean back in 42 when we tried to build one and all the workers disappeared? One you mentioned already, the old wise man saying we can go weeks without food, but not without water. And then Bedlam.
So good. All
right, here we go. Now we've got Rosemary. After telling the sheriff about the genealogy, and then Patricia and Tom and Wick wouldn't include her in the discussion afterwards, and she says, guess I'll go F myself.
Whoa.
There was a perfect one that we love, Bubba. It was one that took about 35 to 40 minutes for the payoff. Early in the episode, Rosemary says, the gal who had the job before me, she told me to never go into this shelter. Wick says, and why would that be? And Rosemary says, she never said. And then right after the do not beg loudspeaker, Rosemary's sitting there and she goes, that's probably what she meant.
Oh, Mom.
I love the long payoff. And then, of course, Patricia calming people down. Hey, guys, we're all in this together. And DJ Dale running out of the film room screaming, this place is a death trap. Run for your lives.
Why? DJ Dale, you know what? That's not going to get my funniest bit. But DJ Dale, my girl Patricia.
Yeah.
Told you, look, we got to find things to keep these people, their mind focused. Find something to entertain them.
Yeah.
So he went in, he found one creepy movie, and he didn't like say, okay, well, I'm not going to show him these films. He kept looking through the films. You had one job, Dale. One job.
Yeah, and that job was to just show the films no matter what was on them. That would have calmed the people down.
No. All right, Catfish, you listen. Look at how many things you listed out.
I listed.
Had good laughs.
It sure did.
Which one was the best?
There were so many. I could do a tie for number one, but I'm going to have to give it to Ruth humble bragging about being hit on by clergy of all sexes. I mean, just Ruth. She got it. You go, girl. What was yours, Bubba?
My biggest laugh was, I'm still laughing about it, is when Evan didn't get eaten. No, I'm kidding. It's the old timer. This actor, once again, he's only listed as an old timer. And I feel bad. This guy, you know what? He went out a hero. He sacrificed himself for this show. So this actor, look him up on IMDb. He's called Old Timer. He is he gets the best laugh because he had like 2 or 3 in this episode.
Oh no, he had some good, but most of them were just they were funny only because he was wildly like. One time he was like, well, the one in 73 went for 5 days, but they've gone on much longer than that. Just real comforting words of advice.
Dropping facts.
All right, Bubba, we have got to have our Freak of the Week. Yeah. I don't know why, but besides the MVP, we also have a Freak of the Week.
Wait a minute,
on the Patricia Perfection podcast.
Why I just don't know. Freak and MVP? You can't figure out that they're 2 different things?
All right, Bubba,
is your Freak always your MVP? Come on.
No, it's not. I just don't know what we need different categories then. We also need someone with the best hairstyle of the week. All right, who is your Freak of the Week, Bubba?
Well, I've already mentioned this character, and you may not know his name. But Kenny the Custodian called out to him. He said, PJ Glanville.
I thought it was PJ. You said JP. I know PJ. All right, yeah.
PJ Glanville. Did I say JP? Oh, my God. Terrible.
Sorry, I forgive you.
It is PJ, the teenage friend, and I'm putting friend in quotes, of Evan. This kid is the worst. We've been tough on Evan. This kid is terrible. Kill him. Kill him. Kill him. Like, what the F is he doing? Ah, ha, ha. Like, do you think he's working for the evil team? He's like, oh, look what I found. How did he find that? Hey, let's go down this ladder. Why? Because you want to smoke a joint? Okay, smoke the joint. No, here's a creepy door. Hey. They never smoked the joint. F you, PJ Glanville. You are my freak of the week.
All right. Well, I would put him in. He definitely deserves to go on the list. He is 1A when it comes to the Bell list. My freak of the week. You know what? What's really cool is when someone looks, I used to have a friend like this when I was in college. He looked his hair was cut short. He looked very clean cut. And so my mom was like, oh, yeah, I'm so glad you're hanging out with that dude. And he was a wild man. So for being clean cut, but having some wild ideas, my freak of the week is our presenter in the movie for looking real clean, but having some wild ideas. Bubba.
He's just, he said it. He accepted it. He knows facts. He's better than Mayor Tom at knowing what time it is. Come on. Okay. Listeners, we've talked about our island MVPs, our freaks of the weeks. Would you kill Ruth? We're asking a lot of questions, and we know we're not going to have another Patricia Perfection podcast for a while. But once again, you are the third voice. Your voice matters to us. So if you are listening to this on YouTube or watching this on YouTube, go down in the comments. Give us your answer to all these things. Tell us what you want to see in season 2, what you thought about this episode. And if you're listening on audio podcast, hit us up on social media at PHQ. We can't wait to hear from you. And here's something which you can definitely give your feedback on.
All right.
Link Hogthrob of one of our true double L's.
Double L's?
Little late there, loyal listeners.
Oh, I was completely confused, Bubba. That was acting.
Okay, so Link said, listen, the people who died in this season, you had Shep die in the first episode. Father Bryce, Reverend Bryce, he's dead. The Boogeyman, the EMT guy the Boogeyman killed. Kenny, the Shaman, the Sea Hag, Richard Warren, they all died. That's 8. But now we need a 9th? Wait, what about the witchcraft book? Why 8 bells instead of 9? So Catfish, I think Link wrote that exactly after the episode, and everybody's going through everything, but let's talk it through.
All right.
When Reverend Bryce, way back in those early episodes, he heard the bells, and he's like, how can the bell be ringing? I've chained the bell so it can't ring. There were 9. Now that the island beast got a official sacrifice, an offering, it's only 8 bells. So I'm going to read from your favorite, your freak of the week, the film presenter. He told the people watching that film, and theoretically the offerings, be strong, honor the pact, and remember, their sacrifice is our survival. The bad times will not end until the covenant is honored, and honored fully, life for life. The island will make its needs known, one soul for each bell toll. You will be tempted to comfort them, meaning you, island residents, will be tempted to comfort the people being offered, but do not. Their fear is necessary. They said it likes the taste.
Delicious.
People afraid taste. Now let's pray for a long and peaceful slumber. Catfish, this is very much it. So let's talk about how this monster works, who you would offer up. And I want to start off by talking about the Stephen King novel, It, that all those TV miniseries and movies have been based on. So the idea is that it likes to devour human beings who are in a state of fear, because when you're in a state of fear, your body has certain chemical reactions, and it likes this. In it is a supernatural being which creates, things that scare you and can do things. Now, Link Hogthrob did list out a bunch of people died this season. But what it's almost like is like the island entity, it has the power to build a sea hag to go kill people. It has a power to have a clown in a hotel haunt and kill people. It gives superpowers to the boogeyman. And if they kill people, that's great. But what the island entity really wants is it wants its sacrifices. It wants its offering. So that
it wants them. It wants them in that chair.
Yeah,
they have to be in that chair. Yeah,
willingly almost given to them. Something like this is the space where I want it. This is what it's got to be. So you agree with that? That all makes sense to you?
It absolutely does.
So even the sea monster that grabbed Wick's leg and killed his buddy all those years ago, that's the island entity creating these things to create more fear and to almost wrath. Maybe it's upset. It's waking up for its slumber and doing this. So, Catfish, you were right, and I misspoke a bit earlier. 8 more people's got to go to get this thing to slumber again.
Yep.
Do you want it to get 8 people in season 2 and then slumber, and so we have a bit of a break for season 3, or what would you do? You're Mayor Tom. What do? You can't. You are not sacrificing your son. And if you're not going to sacrifice your son, there's no point in sacrificing Ruth. What are you going to do, Catfish? Let's hear it.
Okay, so you're telling me though, this is really. I mean, I do. As an actor, I like to, to try to put myself in different people's points of view. Sometimes it's very difficult. So this could be the most difficult. You're asking me to put myself in the point of view of not wanting to kill Evan.
Exactly right. So you're Mayor Tom. Act this out, thespian. Well, what do you do? What do you do?
I mean, the thing is, they still have to figure it out, right? This is the thing I was wanting to talk about later, but I think we need to talk about it now since we're talking about this. Because part of this is, obviously, this practice fell off. There's no updated movies. Rosemary doesn't know about it. Wick doesn't know about it. I feel like if Wick knew about it, he would have said something. So it stopped for a long time. We don't know why it stopped. We don't know why it restarted. Those are some things that I think would have been helpful to know again in the season finale. So without all that, it feels like, first of all, they need to learn the rules of what you need to do.
Well, how about this? They know where it's located. They know that it comes to that chair through that, that hatch or.
Okay, but let's be very clear about this.
Why not go kill it?
The ones who sort of knows about it really is horrible Evan.
Right.
Evan's going to have to say.
His dad's going to be like, "Where's Kenny the Custodian?" You don't think Evan's going to tell his dad about this?
Well, is he going to be afraid that he's going to get in trouble for his dad for doing something he wasn't supposed to do again? They're going to pretend that they didn't go down there, I think.
Oh, God, that would be the...
So I think it's going to be a little while before they even figure out how they need to take care of this. And then they have to decide if they're really willing to go through with that.
Okay, I think... So my reaction, this is so funny, my reaction is like the characters in It. Spoiler alert if you haven't read or seen the adaptations of Stephen King's novel It.
I think you've had enough time.
My reaction is, let's go kill it. Let's go destroy it. Let's go, this pact is BS. It was signed with Richard Warren. That's not me. I have nothing to do with him. I'm Mayor Tom. I'm not even really related to him. I guess I am through my, but anyway, through my ex-wife.
Okay, I guess, okay, so that's one thing that I did not consider, which now obvious to me now that you say it. They got to figure out a way to get rid of this in a different way.
Yeah. Do you as a viewer need to see the monster next season? Like, we didn't really see it. We heard its grumble. We heard the terror of Kenny the Custodian being killed. Do you need to see the entity? We've gone 10 episodes without actually seeing it. Next season, do we need to? And what would it even look like?
Well, I would say I would like to see the entity, and what it would look like would hopefully be something very scary. That's all. I would expect it to be sort of skeletal. Okay, what does it look like? What? Tell me.
Evan. All I have to do is say Evan.
Oh, man, you're back on the Evan train, though. No, you can say you're doing it for me. But you're back, baby. You're back, and I feel it.
How about, do you want it to be devil-like, human-like in any way? But once again, I'm going to go to Lost, and Lost is interesting to talk about, but Lost spoilers. A lot of times it took the form of black cloud, black mist. In the X-Files universe, wasn't there black oil that was kind of evil? What should this thing look like?
I mean, I would think, something like something with more skin and creepier than what you think of as like death. So something sort of very skinny and skeletal and grotesque. But I want to go back to what you said, because I think that's interesting. The reason why I didn't think about it is because it seemed to me very clear that they realized there's only one way to take care of this thing. So you think they're going to spend time trying to figure out another way while other horrible things happen next season? Well,
hold on. What do you say is the one way to take care of this thing? Sacrifice 8 people? There's no way.
No. The one way to take care, yes, there's one way to temporarily take care of it.
Exactly.
Is to sacrifice 8 people. The way to permanently take care of it is sacrifice 2 people.
Yeah, I don't think, once again, I am Ruth. I'm not pulling any lever. I'm saying, you see this contract that was written in Warren's blood, feces, and semen, wasn't it? I'm saying I'm burning that. I'm destroying this pack. I'm saying, guess what, you damn demon? The pack has been fully honored. Eat it.
We'll see how that works out for you.
That was me doing an IceCold Put Down to the island entity, which is a very forced transition into our best ice
cold moment of the week. Bubba, I've only got one, and thank God that the doctor was in this episode, because every time the doctor comes in, he's just straight slinging ice cubes at people, ice cold. So the sheriff questioned him, because the doc's like, oh, no, you're fine. And then he pulls the sheriff over and he's like, your wife's giving birth tonight. And the sheriff's like, no, you can't be wrong. You can't be right about that. There's no way. And the doc says, oh, sorry, I didn't know you went to medical school.
This guy, ice cold. Imagine if he was reading WebMD, he would just be like, F this is terrible. Yeah, I don't have a better ice cold put down. They tried to put down Ruth. She kept on ticking. She takes a licking and keeps on ticking. So no ice cold put down for me on episode 10.
Oh, man. All right, well, Bubba, that's why we're going to have to go to a crazy theory. I was going to ask you your crazy theories about the stuff that we still don't know, but we already talked about it. Why the island stopped, why the creature stopped, why did it start again? We still don't know that, but Bubba, at least we've got some feedback from a loyal listener, Ella Feel the Pops.
Yeah, she
had some seriously wonderful, crazy theories about Ruth. She thought Ruth was like the linchpin. Ruth was going to be like cackling in her Double D demon den, just living it up. So Ella writes, well, I was 2,000% wrong about Ruth being evil and doing evil and being evil. Ha ha. And then she says, how can anyone that does goat yoga be evil? I've known some, Bubba. I mean, goats. Come on, goats are very satanic, paganistic animals.
They are, but this is people studying that calendar, Catfish. Sure enough, goat yoga was on Ruth's calendar. Ella, I would have loved it. I would have loved it if Ruth had turned to all cackling evil spirit.
Yeah.
A24 evil witch. But instead, she was like Evan's Nana. And she was putting up car posters to impress Evan. I mean,
oh my God, you're so great. They love cars, and it was like a boring Subaru. And that was another phony moment.
I think it was a Datsun, believe it or not.
Oh my God, it was some boring car. She loves it. She's like, those young teenage boys, they love those safe sedans.
Oh yes, yeah, the good value, easy to insure cars. Hey, Catfish. So let's talk now about season 2. There are a bunch of things that haven't been answered. We talk about how Ruth survived. How's this? We technically don't know if the sheriff's wife actually gave birth all those weeks early, like the doctor who went to medical school said she was going to. And probably, so I want to talk specifics about season 2, but also, is there any way you've been tough on this episode, but is there any way the show can stay this consistently good? This was a great, wonderful first season of television. How in the world is this show going to be able to stay this consistently?
I mean, I think it's going to be tough, even though I didn't get my game changer in episode 10, there were a lot of game changers along the way. So it's kind of like, I put it this way. When someone, and we've covered shows actually based off of books like this, books where we're sort of taken into a whole new world, or there's a paradigm shift in that world, right? And so when there's a paradigm shift and it goes from one thing to the other, that is an amazing book to have. But then when you follow up in that world, you've already had the paradigm shift, so it can't be as interesting as it was. And so here we don't have a paradigm shift, but the paradigm shift is we know a lot of information about how this thing deals with people, how it manifests, what it needs. So it is going to be tough because it seems to me like this is going to be, you talked about getting together the Scooby-Doo gang. We've got the Scooby-Doo gang. Feel like they're going to be working at different purposes, especially the sheriff and Tom. So that's going to provide some more interest. But will we have, what kind of more surprises will we have? I don't know if it's going to be as it can be as surprising as season 1.
I hope it can. I hope they can find the way to thread this needle, because they've done it in season 1. If they can find a way, once again, this entity creates monsters, create things, takes its energy out. The boogeyman hit around the year 2000, right? And so this thing, the island wasn't taking sacrifices in the year 2000. Tom probably wasn't, yet on the island dating that girl yet. So Evan's mother yet. So, boy, this is going to be fascinating stuff. What I need in season 2 is, I do think you need to go into that door. We know that it's right there, accessible through City frigging Hall. You can go down a ladder, get into the catacombs, and get to that point. I think we do need to go down there. I think we do need,
I know, but it's a spirit. I don't know how you hunt a spirit.
How do you? Well, okay. First, you if the Ghostbusters did it with the backpacks, the Exorcist does it with holy water. You're going to go down there and you're going to defeat it. How about this for all my? Whoa! You sick a dog on it. How about that? But how about this? For everybody who read all those books in English class, this is set in New England. New England has a great history of witches and evil forces. I always think of I believe it's a short story, Young Goodman Brown, of all these people going out, all these good Christians going out in the New England woods and getting their freak on. Do we have to do something to get our freak off? That's what I'm imagining, something like that. Like, how would you fight it? Reverend Bryce killed himself. How would you fight it, Catfish? How would you fight the devil?
No, there's no fighting with the devil. I don't even understand your thing. It's got a deal. You can try to hunt it. I don't know. You're gonna make some sort of combination of.
What about
you're gonna put holy water into? Okay, a lawyer.
Hold on. Richard Warren signed a pact. People sign pacts with the devil all the time, and lawyers get them off on technicalities. Let's get the Justice Department on.
That's a good point. I assume in season 2, we will find out more behind, in the past, at least for the films that we saw, and how people were handling it then. And presumably, maybe we will find out, hopefully, we will find out the answers to why they stopped. How did this knowledge get lost of how this is handled?
100%. Hey, listeners, we are talking big picture because the show makes us want to go big picture. If you have ideas, wants, needs, crazy theories for season 2, repeat it with me. Go down in the YouTube comments and leave them for us. Reach out on social media at PHQ. If you want to go big, write us an email at this email address, hello@doublepmedia.com.
Okay. Good one.
We are ready. I really do think, Catfish, before we get to some great listener feedback, why don't we go to a thing that I have kind of mentioned before. Catfish, you can vote for the Television Emmy Awards. There is a lot of buzz that the fact that this has become a word-of-mouth hit might get it some Emmy nomination buzz. Any thought? Have you heard anything? Are there any Emmy screenings coming up for Widow's Bay that you would be invited to?
They do have what they call FYC events for your consideration. I think there was a Widow's Bay one that I didn't get into. It's very hard now to get into them. They do them in different locations. Some of them are quite small. But again, for all Emmy members, you basically, you used to get screeners. Now they don't even bother with that. They just give you a code. There's an FYC app. Sometimes they have their own apps you can download, etc. So you'll get to see it for sure.
Incredible. All right, Catfish, how about this? When do you think it'll come back? I am worried that it won't come back for 2 years, and part of that is tied to this Emmys thing. For everybody, we're getting thick in the Hollywood weeds here, but if you ever wonder why in the spring are so many great television shows released by all the streamers, because that is right before the Emmy nomination window closes. I mean, you got to get your episodes out by pretty much the end of May, so you can be eligible for the Emmys. And I think if Apple TV thinks this show has a good chance of more Emmys, they're not going to be ready for next spring. So that means I fear it will be 2 years. The show doesn't have too many effects, from what I can tell. Special VHS, special FX work that needs to be done. But I don't see a way that Apple TV doesn't think we've got a winner. It can get nominations. Let's hold it. So I'm a.
Well, the other thing too is what show what position is it for Matthew Rhys?
Yeah.
You used to be able to people could hold you for shows. In fact, I work with someone who did a pilot, and then they got held for about a year and a half.
Wow.
She had to ask, can I do films? They wouldn't let her do a film, etc., like that. So, but what that essentially means now is your position is, in other words, you have to clear your schedule for this. So Matthew Rhys might be working on some other stuff so that this show is not in first position for him. So basically, they would have to work with his schedule. So that's also another consideration.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Listeners, are you going to be able to wait 2 years to find out who's going to kill Evan?
Oh man, it's going to be me if I have to wait 2 years.
Hey, we always say that you are the third voice that we love to talk to about this great show.
Yep.
Somehow, some way, after our lo-fi, terrible podcast on episode 9, because I was out of the country, we do have your great feedback on episode 10. So, Catfish, let me read the first one. It's from our true Double L loyal listener, Cam Shea 23 on Threads. Catfish, she disagreed with you because she gave episode 10 9. She gave it a rating of 9 out of 10 double S's.
Double S's?
Satanic sacrifices, Catfish. Hell.
Or sadistic sacrifices.
I like satanic better than what Cam Shea wrote. Cam Shea continued, I predicted Ruth was the secret mother to Evan's mom. You were right. I take off a point for not as many funny moments. Oh, wow, she's opposite.
Oh, man.
She also continued, I felt bad for Tom. We didn't talk about this. Did you feel bad for Tom that he's tried so hard to make, to push this boulder up the hill to get these tourists here? It's all blowing up in his face, and now his son is the curse. Did you feel sorry for Mayor Tom?
I mean, I've first of all, I've always felt that Evan was a curse to Tom. So I've always felt bad for him because of that. Yes, he was great in that moment too, not just the monologue about his wife, but when he realized that Evan was the final descendant. That moment was incredible.
Cam Shea continues, the funniest moment for her was when Dale ran out and yelled, run after watching the film. So Cam Shea, 9 out of 10. We love that. Here, who really
you know what? Cam Shea also said that they didn't expect the sheriff to shoot Ruth. I completely did. I know that one of our loyal listeners, Joel Smith, did not, but I expected the sheriff to come in. He's like, I got to do this. My wife is going to give birth at any moment. And Tom is not taking care of business. Gen X Cat Mom at all mod cons, I've been doing a little gentle ribbing because she's been giving all these episodes 9.5. So in a quick turnaround, a shocking state of events, she gave this episode 9.5 double Fs.
Wait, double Fs?
Freaky films.
Oh.
OMG, both of them were so creepy, unsettling with the guy smiling as he said crazy things, talking about the films. I'm so disappointed in Tom. His behavior really bothered me.
Whoa.
I assume she meant that because he was taking his sweet-ass time trying to kill Ruth.
No.
The cop, WTF, poor Kenny, stupid PJ, Catfish, I took off half a point because how badly Ruth was treated.
Good.
Man.
Good work. We already talked about Link Hogthrob. He gave this episode 10 out of 10, Catfish, double G's.
Double G's?
Yeah. Geriatric GSWs.
Oh my God, that is amazing. And Shirley, our loyal listener Shirley said, wow, the finale was 10 out of 10 for me.
Whoa.
Finally, the connecting thread I was missing. Like the town's demon, I was missing the sacrifice. It has been driving me crazy. What information drove the priest crazy? Now we know. And it was great, and it connected all the weird stuff perfectly. You know what? Someone who was a little bit down on, who's not a loyal listener, apparently Stephen King said, Widow's Bay is good. Maximum Pleasure Guaranteed is even better. Bubba, have you watched any of Maximum Pleasure Guaranteed?
I haven't, but I put this comment here in our show notes because I've been talking so much about how this show feels like it's a homage, if you will, to Stephen King. I talked so much about Stephen King's It, and you're right. He put out this social media post saying, hey, Widow's Bay is good, but this other Apple TV show, Maximum Pleasure Guaranteed, is even better. Catfish, I got too many shows right now. I watched about maybe the first 2 minutes of Maximum Pleasure Guaranteed, and I was like, I don't have time for this, and immediately quit. Have you watched any of that new Apple TV show?
I have watched a couple episodes, and I will say it seems like it's getting better as it goes along.
Oh, good.
It was not that it was bad, but it was getting getting better. So I'm going to keep watching it. I'm going to keep watching Cape Fear. Just in case anybody knows, I'm watching Cape Fear, and I decided after the first episode and a half, not only, and this is the way they portray them, not only are the members of this family horrible, just human beings, Javier Bardem is so much fun. I've decided, I think if you've got more than one person in your household and you decide to watch Cape Fear, I need someone to go on Team Family and someone to go on Team Javier. And after every episode, tell people how much, tell your other person how much you enjoy the episode and see. I will guarantee you, if you go Team Javier, he wins so much in the show, Bubba. So because he's winning so much, you got to go with him. Plus, he's just going ham. I'm Team Javier on Cape Fear. But Bubba, we're not discussing that show.
No.
Our next podcast, as you said, is House of the Dragon Season 3. So you'll hear us within a week if you watch House of the Dragon, because we'll be podcasting on that very quickly. And then, Bubba,
yeah,
they can. How can people reach out to you personally? You mentioned Double PHQ, but if they want to reach you personally and say, Bubba, why did you stab Evan in the back like that while Catfish was stabbing him in the front?
Hey, if you want to talk to me about any of these great shows, or look at my boring vacation pictures from my trip to Europe, I'm on social media channels at Fit and Trim. That's FITTENTRIM at Fit and Trim on social media.
And I am Catfish. You can hit me up at G to the Man. That's GETOTHEMAN on Instagram and Blue Sky. And we'll talk to you sometime in the future on Patricia Perfection. Good.
You were so tough on this episode. Everybody's going to unsubscribe, and I'm going to say, like, guys, I get...
But they can't see me because my finger's in front of my face.
Son of a bitch. Always just miserable. And every podcast with stupid jokes.